Hello, Facebookers and people in my Facebook groups. Nice to see you all tonight. Hope you all had a lovely day, and a lovely evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm walking back from the office towards home and thought I would jump in here and give you a little tip or two about progress as a leader, as an entrepreneur, as a small business person. What I got for you tonight I think is going to really help you, because what I see as a challenge is something that I see as a challenge with a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of small business people, a lot of people who are trying to get to the next level, and what I see is what makes them stuck. Hey Alison, thanks for joining us. Oh, New Zealand, whoo, all right. Good to have the Kiwis on board. Good to see you, girl. Where are you? Are you in Auckland? Are you in Welly? Where are you? Tell us. I'm happy to know where you're from. It's always good to have people from my old part of the world. I think you probably know that I moved here from Perth, WA, which is about 1,000,000 miles away from where you are, New Zealand, but in the context of North America, you're just down the road. Good to have you on board. Good to have any of you joining me. Oh, Bay of Islands. All right. Good to have you. As I said, not exactly around the corner from Perth, but relatively speaking, in the context of North America. Whoops, don't get run over, Dove. It does seem like it's around the corner. It's good to have you on. And like I said, I want to talk about what keeps people stuck, particularly entrepreneurs and small business people. So, let's start here, all right? Let's think about something. Are you a person who, when you get something, you like to sort of understand how it works? Are you that kind of person? You like to know, how does this work? A lot of people are like that. They want to know, how does this work? How does it come together? Or are you a kind of person who looks at, how can I use it? So there's two different types of people, nothing wrong with either of them, but are you a person who looks at things and says, how does this work? Or are you a person who looks at things and says, how can I use it? Because I found out something that I've noticed that's really very interesting, and I'll tell you what it is. I've noticed what keeps people stuck and what makes people grow enormously. Let's just sort of do a little experiment here for a minute. If I give my iPhone to a millennial, somebody who's, let's say, who's 20 years old, what do they do with it? Do they sit there reading the instructions, working out all the ways that this possibly works, figuring out all the bits and bobs about it? Is that what they do? You think about what they would do. Now think about doing exactly the same exercise, only this time I give my iPhone to somebody who is, let's say, 55 or 60 years old. Not old, 55, 60 years old. And I give them the phone. What is the difference in the attitude of those two people receiving that phone? How do they look at that phone differently? What is the distinction between how they examine this thing that I've just given them? See, here's what I found that I found very interesting, is that one of the ways that we get stuck, and not only get stuck, but keep ourselves stuck, is this. We spend a lot of time trying to find out why something does something. Well, why does this thing in my hand take pictures without a film? Why does this thing in my hand work as a phone, but it's not really a phone, it's a computer? Why is it able to connect to this thing called the wireless network or the internet without any wires? We look at the whys of things. So, you know, there's this big movement that we're being told to get away from looking at things from a place of how, and look at rather at a place of why. And that is great advice. Like, what is it that's driving you? Why do you want to do things, as opposed to just how can I do things, right? Or, you know, I'm going to do this because it's going to make money. Well, what's your why? What is it that drives you? What is the purpose inside of that? This is good. This is a good place to come from, by the way. I highly recommend that you get in there and you sort that stuff out and find out what is your primary driver. What is your why? Absolutely. But that's a whole other subject. We're not going to go into that right now. But I'm going to assume that you have your why. I'm going to assume that you've already worked out, this is why I want to get into this business. This is something that really drives me. This is my why. So why do people who've got their why, who've gotten past that initial block and they've dug in and they've got their why, how come those people are still getting stuck? How come those people are not moving forward? How come those people are entrepreneurs but can't take it to the next level? How does that happen? And I'll tell you how it happens. Because they get focused on the how something works rather than the how can I use something. How does this happen? How can that work? How do I learn how to use this website? How is that possible? Rather than how can I use this? How can I use this thing right now to get me to that next level? So we've got to shift the mentality from how does it to how can I? How does it work to how can I use it? How can I best step into this? How can I use the resources that are available to me? And then the next level of stuck is this. Next level of stuck is this. That very often a person will say something like this. They'll say, yeah, I would do this, I really would, but you know, I just don't know how. I have no idea how. Again, we're stuck in the how. It's a different how. So I don't know how to do this. Okay, you don't know how to do it. Do you know your why? Do you know why you want to do this? Do you know why this matters to you? Do you know why this is really important to you? Do you know what it is that's driving you? So you go, yeah, I got my why. Okay, so you've got your why, so you understand that it doesn't matter how. Yes, I've kind of got that, Dov, I understand. So I'm sitting with this entrepreneur, this young entrepreneur who's doing pretty good, but they can't get past this level. They've reached a level, they're doing really well, and we've discussed how much success they've had. They've had a lot of success, but they can't seem to get past that. Can't seem to get past to the next level of what's really beyond this. How do they get to whatever's next? They can't seem to get to that place and to find out how do you make it happen? How do you take it to that next level above? They're just really struggling. Here's what I found out, and this is really valuable to you, so I really want you to pay attention because this changes everything. We talked about how you want to stop looking at how. Okay, you get that. All right, if I know my why and I'm strong enough, this is what I said to this person. If you know your why, it's strong enough, yes. So don't worry about the how. Just get connected to the why. Person gets really connected to the why. They were indeed very connected to their why, but they were still stuck. And this is a dilemma. I know my why. Okay, I've bypassed the how. What's missing? Why am I still stuck, Dov? I said, you've missed a piece. And they said, what? Here's the piece. We don't live in the same world anymore. We don't live in the same world anymore. We live in a very different world. About 15 years ago, I went to New York to the BEA, Book Expo America. Met all these great editors and publishers and all that kind of stuff, and was told, okay, you need to write a book proposal. Okay, never done that before, no idea what to do. Got stumped, didn't know what to do. Searched around, asked some people I knew who had been published, what they did, how they did it. You know, they'd hired this person. Some people it cost them, you know, it was often a publishing agent, a book agent, who had helped them to write a proposal or written a proposal for them. It cost them a ton of money and often wasn't successful. That world doesn't exist anymore. Look, that's not true. It does exist, but it's old school. What about now? If I want to write a book proposal, what do? I can go on Elance. I can go on some other freelance place online and can put in a request for somebody who knows how to write a book proposal, and I can work with that person at a very reasonable fee in a very limited amount of time, and they can develop a book proposal for me. We don't live in the same world anymore. So yes, you need to know your why. You need to bypass the how am I going to do it. And here's the key. Here's the thing that will take you to the next level as an entrepreneur. And that is, look at the who. Go to the who. Who can help me do this? I don't know how to do it. I don't need to know how to do this. It's actually not that important for me to need to know how to do this. It's important for me to know who can do this. Who can I pay to help me do this so I can go to the next level? And very often an entrepreneur or a small business person will say, well, I can't afford that. You're wrong. You're dead wrong, because you're still thinking in the old world where you have to pay people these astronomical fees because you've got to hire them and they've got to be on board and all this. No, there are tons of freelance people who can help you do what it is that you want to do at a whole nother level than what you've previously imagined. Honestly, I promise you, there are all kinds of great people out there. In fact, if you ask around, you'll probably find that the people you know, you don't even have to go online, the people you know somebody who does that, whatever that is that you need, they will do it for you. So yeah, you got to get past your how and you got to find your why. But once you've found your why, then the next question, the thing that's going to elevate you and going to take you to the next level, is to ask who. Who is going to help you? Who can help you go to that next level? Who is it? Who can take you to that next level and grow your business beyond anything you've imagined? Because we now live in the freelance world. We now live in a world where you can find people to do whatever it is you want them to do. I was asked last week, how many people do you have on your team, Dov? The answer is 2 in-house. How many people do I have on my team? I think it's somewhere in excess of about 20 people. Not one of them, outside of those 2, none of the others are in-house. None of them are paid full-time. All of them do project by project for me, and I pay them to do those projects, and they're wonderful. They're enormously talented. They're great at what they do. They serve me extremely well. They get me, they get my mission, they get my purpose, they get my why. They're happy to serve in that. Get away from the how, get connected to your why, and then tap into the who, because that will transform your business. This is Dov Baron, FullMontyLeadership.com. And I'm curious for you to get curious about who is the person who can take you and your business to the next level. Stay curious, my friends. Stay curious, because the next evolution of you and your business is just a couple of inquiries away. Dov Baron, Full Monty Leadership. If you found this valuable, I really appreciate you sharing it with others who would find it valuable. Remember, you can find me at FullMontyLeadership.com. And as always, remember, I've got the Matrix for you. We just got another announcement from a key member of my team this morning that the Matrix is going to the next level, baby. So get in on it right now while it's the prototype. You can get it absolutely free. You can assess yourself at where you're at as an authentic leader. Go over to matrix.fullmontyleadership.com. Matrix like the movie .fullmontyleadership.com, and find out where you're at as an authentic leader and what you're doing and how you can upgrade yourself. Okay? Stay curious, my friends. Stay curious. Thanks, Allison. Great having you on. And yes, I'd love to see you here in Vancouver. Till next time, folks. Dov Baron.